Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So guys, it is Monday morning. I've been resting all weekend and I still feel the same. I don't feel, in fact I probably feel a little bit worse. I've got to be honest, my ears are just blocked up. I feel like I'm in a swimming pool and I can't hear properly. My throat is still hurting when I swallow. It's just unbelievable. I've been taking these antibiotics for the last 3 or 4 days and it's just made no difference. But you just have to, carry on and then just see how it pans out. If it gets any worse, I'll have to go back to the doctors and see if it can give me, I don't know, more stronger antibiotics or something. But for now, I'm going to just have to see how we go. Right, so today we are going to be working on the Kuga that was supposed to be dropped off last week, and it was dropped off late Friday, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock. It dropped you off. So this has got a water leak coming from somewhere. We're gonna have to find it today, resolve it, and then put it all back together. That's basically what today's job is going to be. So let's get cracking. I'll spin you around. We'll do a quick explanation. I'll show you what's going on. Let's do this. Yeah, guys. So like I said, he dropped it off late Friday. And I thought, you know what? I really want to get it all stripped out, ready for today. And have the best chance we can. So I just literally pulled everything out of the car. All the carpets, everything's been removed. All the water. Also, I left a humidifier in all weekend to try and pull out as much as the moisture in the car as I can. Left the window open a little bit here, so borrowed the machine from Mark, and he lends me this machine every now and then if I need it, which is nice of him. So thank you, Mark, I appreciate that. But yeah, you can see how much water's been pulled. That's how much moisture and water has been pulled out of the car. So yeah, this is what I sold about 5 months ago, this car. And he's come back to me and said, well, and I originally done this on the car, if you remember rightly, on this one. We pulled the carpets, I wanted to see what was going on and what was happening. I originally thought it was coming from the front, but now I believe it's not. It's coming from the back and the boot somewhere. We've got to find it, but it's definitely coming from the top area, because if you can see that point where the humidifier is, it's lower, and this point is higher. Yeah, there's like a little step here in the car. So water's never going to travel up, it'll always travel downwards for gravity. Now I've checked everywhere in this car and I've looked up here. This carpet here is completely bone dry all the way around, that carpet there. So it's not coming from this area, because if it was, that would be soaking wet. And it's not, it's completely bone dry. Same as the driver's side, up the top, completely bone dry. So it's got to be coming from the back. And I think I found the area. Well, I've pinpointed the kind of the area, because here is soaking wet. This here is soaking wet. Look, it's not that. On Friday it was really bad. It's not that bad now, because that machine has pulled out the moisture from the actual pieces here. So if I just put that there, the top part is dry now. This is starting to get wet here, but this here is the main area where it's wet, and underneath here, that's wet. So it's looking like it's coming from this area, from underneath this, around the back into the boot. So it's possible that it's coming from the light, the vent behind the bumper, or the trim that goes around the back, or the rails as well. It could be coming from there. So we've really got to do a bit of an investigation when it comes to that. But it's definitely coming from that side. It's not coming from this side, because that is all dry. It's all dry, bone dry. So it's not coming from this side. It's definitely that side. Look, that carpet in there, look, that is completely bone dry. So what's happening is coming from this corner up here somewhere, running down there, running across. That's what's happening. So that is what we've got to find. We've got to do an investigation. We've got to find out where it's coming from. I'm going to strip out the boot a little bit more, get the plastics off the sides, just do a little bit of bit more strip down, and then we're going to do some water tests. We're going to run it on the roof, down here, down the lights. You know, it could be coming from. It could be going down the lights and then down. There's like a grill, a vent there. Possibility, but you know, I'm only guessing at this point, guys. So that is what we're doing today, is fixing this leak. But now I've done this point, you know, these carpets are more or less dry. I've got to clean them up a little bit because there's a little bit of sorry guys, I had to cut off there because someone come to the door. The owner does his usual walk around checks just to see if everyone's all right and stuff. But yeah, like I was saying, we've got to do a little bit more, you know, cleaning and zapping of this, because you can see that it's quite watery now. But it's run down from the whole weekend, and it's dried the whole area here. And it's just this last little piece at the bottom that needs pulling out, which I've got the machine, which will just pull it out there, and then we'll stick it over by the heater, and that should just, you know, really, yeah, because that's what I wanted to do. This is why I've done this before I left on Friday, because if I didn't do that on Friday, we'll be, you know, right back to the beginning where everything's all wet and dirty and horrible and that stuff. But this point now, we're at a good point where we can find the leak, resolve it, put it all back together, put it all back in, and then that should be us done. But what's helped is that humidifier. Definitely that humidifier's helped loads. It's just pulled all the moisture out of the car, and any sort of dampness. It's really, really worked well. So, yeah, thanks again, Mark. I know you're watching, buddy, so thank you for that. So, yeah, I'll set you up. Let's get cracking. Let's do a bit more strip down. Let's see if we can find this leak. Let's do this. Right, okay guys, let me show you what I've done and what I've found. So basically, just stripped out this side, because that's definitely where it's coming from. It's coming from this area here. It's not coming from this side. It is completely dry down there. Here, as well as along down there. So I know that it's not coming from this side. But once I find out where it's coming from this side, I'll be doing the same on this side, if that makes sense, because I don't want to fix one side and then the other side sort of, you know, becomes an issue later on down the line. So whilst we're in here doing it, let's just do both sides. So yeah, but let me show you obviously the water that I found. You can see it's all in there like that. and it's running down that channel along there. You still see a little bit there as well. Down there, and then down that way, down into that corner, and then down into the front, and then along into the underneath of the car. So that's what's happening. I don't think it's like a massive you know, I think it's just a little dribble at a time. I've got to be honest, because there'll be a lot more water in here if there was a constant yeah, mind you, it doesn't rain all the time, I suppose, and it's dries out a little bit and then comes back again and stuff like that. So who knows? But it's definitely coming from this side. So I think the thing we've got to do now really is I put the seats back in, put the plugs back in place, and then drive it outside, and then do a water test on the outside, hose, whatever, just completely keep soaking the car all over the top here. Because what I've found is that from underneath, there's a vent in the actual bumper, but the actual vent is about here, like this. Yes, it's about there. Now, the top, this boot liner here, that ends about here, about there. So the vent, I think, is very slightly lower than the top of the boot. So again, the water won't travel up. And I actually put a drill bit underneath and I punched a hole through where the actual vent sits, and no water come out. If that was the case, and that's where it was coming from, the water would have been, yeah, it would have been, it would have been flooded out, because obviously it would have been filled up, but it's not. So it must be coming from up here somewhere, and it kind of makes sense because I'm seeing a lot of little bits of water here. Whether or not that's caused by condensation from the humidifier, I don't know at this point, but yeah, it does look like it's coming from this area. So maybe it's coming from just that plate there. But we are going to find out. We are going to find out, guys. Don't you worry about that. But I think, like I said, the clever thing to do now is get it outside and then just completely keep soaking the outside of the car. Keep soaking until I can see something from the inside where it's coming and dribbling out or dribbling through. Something's happening. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that is what we're going to do next. So I'll get on with that, and then I'll come back and let you know the results, because I'll have to do it outside. I might be able to set you up, actually. Well, I'll try and set you up outside so you can see me doing it, and then we'll go from there. So let's keep going. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, I am back in now for the water test. I didn't show it outside, yeah, sorry guys, but let me show you what I found. So basically, I just covered this whole corner. I just kept soaking. And let me show you what's happened. So as you can see now, we've got a lot of water in here, down this corner. And I've chased it up and worked out where it was coming from. So you can see the drip there. See, it's running all the way there. See that drip there? In there. So it's coming from inside there. But there's nothing there. There's no bungs or nothing to sort of, you know, let the water in. So it's got to be coming from somewhere higher. Now, my suspicion is going to be those rails on this side, on these rails here. That's where I think it's coming from. I don't think it's coming from anywhere else, but I am going to pull down the actual the liner a little bit, just to see if I can then see exactly where it's coming from. I don't think it's coming from inside that there, but you never know whether or not it's coming through there and it's just dripping down. But I think it's coming from those rails. Whether or not these are original rails, I don't know. I think these are just like caps. You just pull these caps off and then they're bolted down. So suspiciously like it's going to be this top rail. So if we're going to do this top rail this side, we may as well do the other side as well. And I'm just assuming it's going to be a case of just, you know, getting some mastic and sealing it up because it's failed. But yeah, that's clearly where it's running down. It's running down there. From that point there, in that hole there, and it's running all the way down. So, yeah, bear with me. I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to grab some adhesive, some silicone, some stuff to get this sealed up. And we're going to pull these caps off. I'm just assuming, guys, that this is going to come off from the outside. It don't screw up from the inside. It's surely not. I don't even think are these original rails for this car? Maybe they're aftermarket. I don't know. But whatever happens, these rails have got to come off. So, yeah. It just, you know, it is what it is. I might as well do all four corners on the actual rails themselves, both sides, just to finish it off, seal it up, and then, yeah, we can put it all back together. So, yeah, bear with me, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, okay, so guys, let me show you what I found. I basically just popped out, grabbed some sealant, which is like it's actually a roof and a gutter sealant. So it should be okay to use, but it's such a strange way. There's not actually, like I thought it was going to be. I thought the bolts, because the bolts go through here and one here, and I thought there's going to be a rubber bung at the bottom, and as you do up the bolt, it's going to squeeze against the rubber bung, and it's going to create that seal. But there actually isn't a rubber seal. There's a rubber on here, but that sits on the outside. The one that sits at the bottom, where these screws are, it's a solid bit of metal. So, yeah, I've no idea why this has failed. But as you can see, I took the whole roof rack off because I'm going to do all four corners of this car. Might as well, whilst I'm up here doing the work, let's just get it all done. Just a matter of cleaning up the channels, filling it all up with a silicone sealant. Put some silicone sealant in the holes as well before you put the screws back in through there. And then, yeah, tighten them back down, and that should seal it up. It's only this point that's leaking, so it's worth, like I said, doing the whole lot, all four corners, whilst I'm doing it. But all I can sort of think is that there's like a little, I don't know what that is. It's like a solid bit of, it's like an adhesive, but it's more like a seam sealer, that stuff. You can see it better there, look. It's like, it's just, I think that's all there is to get that sealed. They should have put some rubber bungs so that when you squeeze it, the rubber bungs, they squeeze and create that sealant squashing against the body. But it's not, that's not what's happened here. So, and I've recently found out that this standard, this at the factory, the roof bars are at the factory. So, and it's the only place that it could be leaking from, is there and there. So that definitely where I think it's coming from, but it just needs a good clean up. And then, like I said, just squidging some mastic, put it back in, put it back together. I'll put some bolts, I'll put some mastic on the bolts as well, and then push them through so that I know that it's watertight on the bolt and the connections. But it's definitely coming from where the bolt areas are, here and here. So yeah, that's what I found, guys. I think that's what it is. Let's let's get it all cleaned up, all siliconed, all put back together, and I reckon that is going to solve our problem. So let's do this. Right, okay. So guys, that's it. It's all been siliconed up and all been squodged in. There's no way that these are going to leak now. These roof bars, there's no way. I really did put a load of mastic down there. And then obviously I've done some mastic onto the bolt as well. You can see a little bit squidging out of there a little bit as well. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. We've done it. So all now we've got to do is put it all back together. All the little bits and pieces, make sure everything's dry, make sure everything's clean, make sure everything's put back the way it should be put back, and yeah, I think we're good to go. Obviously I'm going to leave it inside here to dry. It is raining outside as well. It's starting to sort of really rain as well now, so I don't want to take it outside. We've got another new little project out there which is coming today for some work. On the corner there, you can see it. There's some damage. So another customer has bought me their car. We're going to get into that in the next couple of days. But we need to get rid of these vehicles first, this is the one. Also, guys, when I went and picked up some silicone, I dropped off the wheels and tyres for the ST. So the wheels and tyres are getting done today and tomorrow. So I should have them back picking up tomorrow, and we can continue getting this back on the road for my daughter. And yeah, MOT, clean inside and out. I'll check the brakes as well whilst the wheels are off. We'll just do a quick service on the actual brake calipers, make sure they're all working right, strip it all down a little bit, have a clean up before we put brand new refurbished tyre wheels and brand new I took the tyres that I had here excuse me, over to that place as well. So yeah, already a very busy day, but I'm glad that we've got to the bottom of this issue. And yeah, I'm glad that we've done all four as well. All four corners are done on this, so he shouldn't have any other problems again. That's that. Do you know what I mean? This car does suffer from other issues and other problems, but you know, it's a second-hand car. It's wear and tear. It's, you know, all part of owning a second-hand car. Even if you went and bought a brand new one, though, guys, brand new cars have their own problems as well. Take the electric cars at the minute, all catching fire and stuff. Unbelievable. But, you know, that's another story anyway. So let's get his Kuga all wrapped up and finished and pushed along as far as we can at the minute. Let's do this. Right, okay. So, guys, the interior, this part of the interior is all back together. All the trims, everything's been put back how it was. I've made sure everything's dry, nothing's sort of wet, dried off everything underneath. We've sorted all that out. The only thing I have left is the boot area, because I still really want to check to make sure that we've got no leaks coming through there. I'm probably about 95% confident that that's going to work, but you just never know. So I want to make sure before we do, put all this back together, I want to make sure that it's not coming down anymore. But everything else is gone back really well and really quick. The only thing I've got to try and do is I want to look at his stereo, because he's saying that the stereo is staying on. Now, that could just be, you know, a thing that's happened. It's just a coincidence that it's happened with water getting in the car. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to plug the computer in and see if it brings me up any codes or anything like that, and then I'll just clear the codes, and then that should be all right. But you know, it's just a pain. These roof bars. I have looked into it, and it's quite a, you know, quite a prolific, quite a normal standard thing to happen on these Kugas. But it's just, yeah. But at least it's done now. It's sorted. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're finished with it and we're done. Because there isn't any other, like I said to you, there's no other way that water can come in. And it's definitely coming in through this one here. I will double check that's tight, but it feels really tight around that. And obviously the water will just run down and just run this way. With that, it's got to go through. But you can see that obviously there's silicone there as well. I've sort of really bunged it up there as well. You can see it in there. Oh God, you can't get you in there. At the bottom there. So it's nice and tight. You know what I mean? So as it's gone down, it's sort of squidged it down and squidged it into the place in the area. So I reckon we're good to go with that. I have put a bit of mastic out on the cardboard because I was using it for getting a bit for my screws, and that's pretty solid. A little bit squidgy, but you know it's gonna dry pretty quick, this stuff. So I think I'm gonna leave it overnight. I think what I'm gonna do is just leave it overnight, leave it in here. I'll leave the humidifier, Mark's humidifier, again inside the car, just to get out and pull as much as the moisture out of the car as we can. But I want to leave this overnight. So I think we are kind of there. I'm going to get this one. It's stopped raining outside. So I'm going to pull this one outside in a bit. And I'm going to bring in another project that someone dropped off today. I showed you a quick glimpse. I need to walk around that one with you, just explain what's going on. But for now, let's get this outside, and then we'll bring it back in tonight, just before we leave, and then humidifier all night tonight. And then, fingers crossed, I want to do another water test on that top, and then that should be it. We can put all that back together, and then he can come and collect the car tomorrow. But I just want to double check that's okay overnight, you know. So yeah, bear with me, guys. Let's get this out of the way, bring another one in, and I'll show you the next little job. It's not today, but we have got to start it today. No, you don't know what I mean. I'll explain in a minute. Bear with me. Right, okay. So, guys, yes. Apparently, she had a fight with a tree in a car park, and the tree won. Yeah. Quite a hefty bang, isn't it? There as well. So she's obviously split the bumper at the bottom here. So she's asked me to, yeah, just to sort of get it repaired and get it back to the way it was, basically. So, yeah, I have got a wing over here. I went and got that. Whether or not it's in colour, I don't know. If it ain't, it needs to get painted. If it is, we'll just leave it as it is and paint the bumper and blend it into the wing and stuff like that. But yeah, it just, you know, it's just another little repair really, that she doesn't want to go through the insurance. Just keep it away from an insurance claim. Get it done. Have proof that it has been done. Because if you go through an insurance claim, the insurance company don't put it down as a repaired car. And no one ever knows that it's been repaired. So you could go and buy a second-hand car, and it can have maybe 4 or 5 insurance claims against the car, but you'd never know because the insurance company don't say when they fix the cars. Only guys like us, when we buy the crash cars, we fix them up, we show it, we prove it, we do all that good stuff. So yeah, she don't want to go for an insurance company, so we're going to get this repaired for her, but still have proof of how it was repaired and what we did to get it back on the road. So if she goes to sell it, she can then say, yeah, it had a bit of an accident or whatever, and it's been repaired. The videos are on YouTube. So yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. So I'm not gonna get into this now. I'm not gonna start stripping it down. I can't do it today. It's not enough time. But I do need to get the fuel flap off of here, so it can go to the paint shop to get a colour match and shade, so we can paint the other side. So I'm going to set you up. Let's get this off, and then I think that's going to be us for today. So let's do that for now, and let's just see how we get on. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. So there we go. That is the fuel cap off, ready to go to the paint shop. He's actually, the paint shop guy is bringing me the paint for the orangey, salmony Fiat 500, the other one that we're doing. So he's going to drop that off tonight, and then he's going to pick up that sample for this car, take it back with him tomorrow, get it done tomorrow, and then bring it back tomorrow night. So yeah, that's kind of, that was the plan anyway, and I think it's kind of working, so that's good. So yeah, let's get this car out of the way. I'll bring in, what's that fell over? I'll bring in the Kuga for tonight, stick in the humidifier just to make sure that it's nice and, nice and toasty, and it's all been zapped out the car, which will definitely do that over tonight as well. Plus, obviously, it's had it over the weekend, so don't think there's going to be any issues with that. And then yeah, we'll jump on something else tomorrow. I think I've got a transit van. One of my long-term friends back in the day, Chris, is bringing his Ford Transit Connect, custom. He's bringing his custom in for a service tomorrow, so yeah, we should be able to crack on with that. I'm not going to get it on the ramp. It don't matter, because obviously it's too big anyway, so I could just do it here, and then we can just use the jack if we have to use a jack to take it up a little bit. But we can certainly get it in and do it inside here. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. A few bits and pieces done. I'm glad that Kuga is all sorted and we've done that water leak. Definitely find out tomorrow if it's solved it. But I'm about 98% sure now that it has solved it. And we can just put those little bits and pieces back in the boat together, which are all these pieces here. And then that's it. He can, come and collect it. So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Take care. See you soon.